Evening, everyone. It's around 5:30, and this is your closing comment for today, Tuesday, the 16th of February. Only one of the indexes actually finished up on the day, and again, new high, and that was the Dow, up 64.35, 0.2%. The NASDAQ, by the way, it was up close to 200 this morning. So we finished closer to the low than the high. The NASDAQ was down 48.34%. S&P was barely changed at down 2.25 or 0.6%. The Russell was down 1647. That was the big loser, 0.72%. And the transports up $5.65, 0.4%. Market internals were not great. The NASDAQ managed to eke out a 1-to-1 relationship. And in the Dow, which, as I said, was up 65, it was basically 1,500 up, 1,700 down. Volume was dramatically lower today than it has been recently, down about 25% from last week's ranges. We had a lot of earnings here, and we had a lot of craziness here. So I'll start with the earnings. Everything that reported today was a beat, both top and bottom line, earnings and revenue. CVS, the first one, and it was trading 75.29 this morning when I did the pre-opening comment, and that turned out to be the high of the day. Even though they beat top and bottom line, I listened to part of the conference call, and it was horrendous. It was just miserable. And the non-answers that were given were incredible, too. And for that reason, they took the stock from 75 and change to 70.19 on the low. And the close was 70.67, down 352, 4.7%. Palantir, also PLTR. It was down this morning anyway. It was, when I did the first call, it was about $29. Its high when they got it open looked like same as the CVS. It finished the day at 27.99, down 392. I believe it was down about 277 in this morning's call. So that was down 12.3%. Zoetis, the pet food and pet health, also double beat, top and bottom. This morning it was trading at 169.83, and that was up $1.84, which was nothing overwhelming. It was only 1%, but it finished the day actually lower, 166.47, down only 24 cents. So, not terrible. Let's see. We also had Quantum, QS, recent new issue. It's been up. Today, it also beat top and bottom. That was after the close. The stock actually had closed 50.64, down 4. After the earnings, though, it moved up to 56.80 and finished, or is currently trading, 54.10, down 49 cents. A couple of stocks that you really would be surprised about, and that is, the first one is Socket, SCKT. It's basically a software company. Excuse me. The stock closed at 3.25 and made the announcement that it had a, quote, enterprise quality scanner as an app for the new iPhone. And that was all it needed. It opened at 10.36. It traded up to, not a misprint, 35, and is currently trading 18.09, up 14.78, or 457%. There was another let's see, BLUE, which is Blue Bird Bio. They suspended a trial for sickle cell anemia, and the stock got pounded. It closed yesterday 45.76, and it had a low today of 26.11. Currently trading 29.5, down 16.26 or 36%. And EHang, EHANG is the way you spell it. No news whatsoever. Chinese company closed 122.50. As I said, no news. And it traded as low as 39.85. Currently trading 53.40. So a nice little bounce, $14 off the low, but still down 70.62 or 57%. I mean, this is just, nuts. That's great that there's a scanner that goes with the iPhone, and the stock only moved from a close of 3.25 to a high of 35, 1,000%. Futures were kind of mixed today, and a couple of them just defying any kind of logic. The oil, which has been on a run, and that's the chart on the screen, looks only like a little move today, but you have to see where it's been and where it's been going. It traded as high as just under $61, $60.95, and closed at $60.05, which was up 58 cents. It did get a little lower. The low on the day was 59.33. So it was actually down for a little while, but finished higher. The news around the world, though, and I mentioned this on Sunday, was the fact that OPEC and OPEC Plus, who are producers, are now talking about if supplies remain constrained, they're going to start selling some. The one that has me completely flummoxed, if I can use that, is the gold. You would think with the numbers that are coming out and the prices that we see for commodities that gold would be higher. Gold finished today down $24. Even when it was early and the silver was up, gold was down. Closed here 17.93 with a low of 17.88. That puts it back here. This is 2 weeks ago's low at 17.84, which, turned back up to 17.84 to 18.56, which is, $80. Still a nice move, but it also puts us in the area of this closing low since the high of 17.88.10. Really not that far away from it. But as I've been mentioning, and this was obviously pointed out to me by Dennis Marlowe, our commodity trader, that the platinum is in a world of its own. Excuse me. While the gold was down all day, platinum closed up 20, and at worst was still up on the day. At best, traded 13.48. So 13.48 is about $60 higher than where we are right now. Pardon me, $70 higher than where we are right now. So it was up almost $90, and it finished up 20.60. Palladium was up a little, copper was up, but you can't really lump copper into this because it's more of an industrial metal. So things getting better in the economy pushes it up. But as you can see, even though it closed near the low of the day, it was still up on the day and has just extended. I would say this is probably going to come in a little. I was thinking about adding to PLG, which is Platinum Group. It was up about 40 or 50 cents today to about $5.50. I didn't add because I didn't like the fact that we were closing close to the low, and when it gapped up this morning, I wasn't willing to pay the price. So we have that. The only thing that I can really think about, and I've mentioned this also, is that people are fixated on interest rates and the bonds versus um, the gold. And the bonds got crushed today, down 2 points, broke through support. I mean, we are probably, pretty close to these closes in here, which was the last breakout to the upside. But look at this day. I mean, this is a weekly. It doesn't really matter because today's the first day of the week. But 163.29 right on the low and down 2.02, 2 and 2/30 seconds, 1/16th. So that may in fact be it. Last but not least, Bitcoin, new high today, 51,065. It too closed closer to the, well, not closer to the low, because during the day it got all the way down to 45,900. So this is, again, it shows a weekly, but today's the first day of the week, so that's what you see. And, just keeps on moving higher. I assume at some point it's going to come down here and, test 40 or 35 or 30. It's really kind of anybody's guess. But, there are governments who want to regulate it almost out of existence, the concern being terrorism, etc. So that's about all we have. It's kind of funny. I was watching CNBC today, and it just amazes me sometimes that people who are supposed to be really knowledgeable about these things, they had on a fund manager. I'm not going to name him, but he was talking about the bonds, and he was possibly confused, possibly stupid, and uninformed, but he was calling the 30-year a note, which it is not, and the 2 to 5s as bonds, which are notes. And so nobody bothered to correct him. So I guess, they'll just let you get away with anything once you pay the price and get onto the tube. All right, everyone, I'll be back first thing in the morning with your pre-opening comment, and I kind of expect it to be a little lower. Have a good evening.